Welcome to No Stats, where we call it how we see it.
Back again with another one.
Yes, sir, bro. And today I want to take time out, and I know it's been a while since they finished up the series, but um, the Denver Nuggets. I just want to talk about their journey, right, and what's changed over these last couple years. I've been a person who has been, you got to show me. I need to see it to believe it. But they've showed us. They went through Minnesota. Right. First, they got the 1 seed. Jokic, back-to-back MVPs in previous seasons. Didn't win the MVP award this season, but had his eyes set on another goal. Jamal Murray was something to prove, showing that he's still the Jamal Murray that we've seen in the bubble. Mike Malone was something to prove. Aaron Gordon was something to prove. KCP was something to prove. And I think they just were a team on a mission all year, and I slept on them. Went through Minnesota in the playoffs. Went through the KD and Booker, Phoenix Suns in the playoffs, and then went through LeBron and AD, who was the hot Lakers in the playoffs, and swept them. And now I think are the favorite to win NBA Finals. So I just want you to break down. I know you was more of a believer in Denver than I was, so I want you to break down this journey. Break down Jokic. Break down this journey and where they're at, how they got here, and where do you see this going in the next couple of years? Can this be a San Antonio Spurs type dynasty?
I think they've been knocking on the door since the bubble. I know they had their for a 2 year span. I know they had their fair share of upsets. You know, they ran into a real polished, battle tested Warrior team last year, and I think they were still trying to figure out their identity and where they was at in that series. Jokic, if you go back and look at his playoff run last year compared to this year, I think he's finally turning into the player that, the Nuggets and himself always knew that he can be. And that's just, playing fluid basketball, taking what the defense give them. And he's the engine to this well-oiled machine. And credit to what you said. You got Jamal Murray, who's playing with a chip on his shoulder. We had stated before, with the rankings coming out, and he's never in a conversation as top guards in the league. I think he took that personal,
Even in the
especially with,
West.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? He's not even mentioned at all. And I think that, he wears that on his sleeve. And then you got a guy like who I think is the Swiss Army knife for them. They have a couple Swiss Army knives, but you take a guy like Aaron Gordon, high draft pick, Orlando Magic for years, didn't really show much promise, and then he finds a home in Denver, and I think that he was that missing piece, a guy that, could guard your LeBrons and guard your Kevin Durant's. He can hit the glass, he's very athletic. Him and Jokic have a great two-man high-low game going. I think them at the additions of Contavious Caldwell Pope and Bruce Brown were big this year.
Brown,
They
absolutely.
were huge. You take a guy like KCP, who's he's gonna guard most of your best perimeter guys. He's gonna knock down shots. He could kind of get it going like a J.R. Smith. Not as, I'm not gonna say that J.R. Smith is out of control, but J.R. Smith will sometimes take some shots that will be questionable.
Yeah, he don't
Where
get
I
as
feel
many
like KCP,
opportunities.
yeah, I feel like
Right.
KCP plays more in the offensive set, but he played phenomenal in that Lakers series.
Yeah.
But Bruce Brown taking, what he was for the Brooklyn Nets last year and kind of turning that up a little bit more for Denver. He finishes most of the games. He's out there playing starting minutes. What you gonna say, bro?
Quick note, bro, and I'm sorry, bro, but I'm gonna lose this. Quick note on Bruce
Nah, you
Brown.
good.
Little history. I watched Bruce Brown play at the University of Miami. Um, for those that don't know, Lonnie Walker, is one of my guys, one of my friends. We play AAU together on the same program. So I went out to University of Miami to watch Lonnie play. I think they played Virginia. This had to be 2019, maybe. I forget Lonnie's year, whatever his year in Miami was. And I watched Bruce Brown play, and I didn't think highly of Bruce Brown. I was like, I don't like his game. And he got drafted, And I guess that was another circumstance where I was wrong because he's balling in the NBA. So I just wanted to put that out there, bro, because I remember watching him and he was the guy at Miami. It seemed like he was the that senior voice, that guy, that upperclassman. I don't think he was a freshman. And I just was like, I'm not feeling him and the fact that he doing this thing. So I had to put that out there.
He's cut
real quick.
He's cut from that. I like how you're paying your dues too, bro.
Yeah,
I like how
I
you
man.
spend those blocks.
I be hyped when I'm right, so I gotta. You know what I mean? As a man, I gotta stand on when I'm wrong
sometimes.
Absolutely.
You know, it's tough. But I think Bruce Brown is cut from that that Draymond Green, that PJ Tucker, those tweener guys. You know, the guys that are kind of positionless. Like, what position is Bruce Brown? He's not a shooting guard. He's not a power forward. He's an undersized three. Like, just what he does and how he plugs into this Denver system, I think it's huge. I think those all-season moves I stated, I think those were phenomenal moves. I think they plugged in what they was missing. You go and you draft Christian Braun from Kansas. He's been big for them. And then you got the veteran guys like DeAndre Jordan. You got Jeff Green on that bench.
Locker room
and
guys.
I think these guys, come on, man, big locker room guys. I think you got, I don't know if they still got Ish Smith, but they got Reggie Jackson sitting out there who they can still deploy when they need to. You need guys like that in your locker room, and I think that's why this team is rolling, a cohesive unit. You times that with the incredible MVP play of Jokic, and you also have everybody has that chip on the shoulder as a team. And Mike Malone spoke on that shit a lot in the Lakers series. They was taking a lot of shit personal. You know, they win the game, and they still talk about the Lakers, and you know, just not giving enough credit, not taking them serious as a one seed. I think that's what's, you know, pushing this train. Do I think this is sustainable? Hell fucking yeah, bro. I think that Jokic is gonna be here for a while. I think the biggest question mark on the team is the production and the rise of a guy like Marco Porter Jr. who's starting to look like that guy that we've been, you know, hoping for that he can be. I know he was battling the back injuries and stuff coming into the league, but you know, he's hitting his shots.
Highly scouted out of high school. Big. Supposed to be that guy.
He's been big for them, bro. So I think, you know, they're all young, man. I don't know the exact ages, but I think Aaron Gordon maybe could be, and Jokic are maybe like the oldest guys on this team in the starting unit. And I think they can get back here again, bro. And in the next couple of years, if they keep retooling the right way, I think your off seasons is big, bro. When you build on your team, you know, when you lose in like the second round and shit, you know, you're at that crossroads to where like you're 1 to 2 pieces away from being, you know, where you need to be at. Now you can add some shit that could set you back. Now you're losing in the first round, or now you're in a play-in, or you can add some pieces like the Nuggets did, and you get yourself to the finals, bro. So that's my take on, you know, Denver as a whole going forward.
No, absolutely, and I think that's the hats off to their front office, and doing what they did, bro. Because you got to think about it, right? Jamal Murray was a guy in college who you could see a lot of potential in coming out of Kentucky. But Jokic, and I know this has been all on social media, Twitter, Instagram, got drafted on the Taco Bell commercial. This isn't a guy who Denver might have, but the world didn't have a lot of high hopes for. Michael Porter Jr. was a guy who kind of fell due to injury, you know, when he was in college. Was at Missouri, if I'm not mistaken. Michael Porter Jr. at Missouri?
Yeah, he was at Missouri, yep.
Yeah. So kind of fell during the injury, highly recruited out of high school, but guys didn't know if he was still that guy. Aaron Gordon, like you said, Orlando Magic, who guys thought maybe just a dunker. KCP, or was it just Bron in the bubble? Was he a product of that? So like you said, a lot of guys with chips on their shoulders, that Denver kind of put that culture. We talk about the Heat culture so much, but kind of put this culture in place and said, you know, we are them guys and we need to believe it and make it happen. starting with Jokic, the head of the snake, and winning those 2 MVPs. And I got a quick question for you, and we can kind of off the top just think about this. Jokic gets a ring, 2 rings. Jokic gets 2 championships. Throughout his career, let's say these next 5 years, he gets 2. He got the 2 MVPs. Where does he fall at in them centers? So let's rattle off these centers. Right?
It's so funny. Not even to cut you off. It's funny because once you were saying the question, I kind of already had comparison career wise for where he would be at if he had that.
Who is it?
And I was gonna say, like, if you go back to the 90s, I would put him in the Hakeem Olajuwon category. You know how Hakeem during that era, during the 90s, he
2
got
rings.
them 2 titles. Yep. I think he had an MVP within that span. May have gotten 2 during that span, and I think
he was
that
the man
like,
when Mike went out.
Yeah. So he was the man. So I think Jokic, will transition into this era as being, the best center right now. Now, all time, I feel like it could get a little sticky.
Yeah. Would you say, not in no order, but, the Wilt, Bill, Kareem, Shaq, Hakeem is there?
Yeah.
And then Jokic? Like, don't worry about those 5. Wilt, Bill, Shaq, Kareem, Hakeem.
Okay.
Like, is he above Dwight? 2 rings, 2 MVPs.
Yes, but it's bro. It's so funny because I don't think you can write off Jokic's game no more now. Because when you got your GOAT cup, you know what I'm saying. What is the criteria you're going by? And I think when you look at Jokic, the eye test, the way he controls the game, and it's not flashy. He's not as fluid and fancy and stellar as an Embiid, but he dominates the fucking game better than a guy like Embiid. Like, you're scoring, but like, how much of the game you controlling? Yes. I stated this before, bro. If you need Jokic to go out here and get you 35, he's gonna get you 35. Not a forceful 35 to where like, damn, I gotta go out here and I'm gonna get 35. Like, you know what I'm saying? Efficiency. All right. I'm gonna take this. All right, y'all doubling me off this. I'm gonna have 12 assists with the 35. I'm gonna get 18 rebounds with the 35. Right. So you take that and then you package in the accolades.
Right.
He's gonna be knocking on that top 5 door, bro. It's gonna be knocking like his game, like. Oh.
Yeah. Hold on. So I'm gonna rattle off some names.
Okay.
Right, and I want you to tell me just a few.
This is what Jokic with 2 rings.
Yes. Hypothetically speaking, he wins 2 rings.
2 rings, okay.
Or do you just want to say 1? You let me know.
We'll do 1. Just do 1. Because he's in the finals right now. He wins the title this year. What that'll do for him. All right.
With 2 MVPs, all right, bet. Moses Malone. He got one NBA title, one finals MVP, 3 MVPs, 8 all NBA selections, 12 All-Stars, 2 all-time, 2 all.
Not yet. No. I'll take it Moses.
Okay. All right. David Robinson. 2 NBA titles, 1 MVP, 10 all NBAs, 10 All-Stars, and a Defensive Player of the Year.
Such an athletic freak, man. I like Jokic's game, though. I feel like Jokic is offensively. I feel like Jokic is better than all of them, but I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can put him above David just yet. Okay. Even with that, right. Just yet.
I got 3 more. I got 3 more for you.
Okay.
Pat Ewing, no championships. Yeah. Okay. All right. No MVP.
You ain't even got to give me Pat resume. Hey, shout out to Pat though. Pat was a ball. But I'm taking Jokic.
All right. That might be it. I was gonna say
I know
Robert
you said
Parrish.
Dwight.
Yeah, Parrish. I'm going back a little bit, but 4 titles. Robert Parrish, 4 titles with Boston, 2 all NBA selections, now All-Stars. But when you think of it that way, I think Jokic got him. And then my last one was Dwight. So
Dwight was crazy in his prime, but
he got 1 MVP.
He could.
Oh, I'm like, he got one NBA title, but I forgot he was on that bubble team. So that's not really.
Yeah, with the Lakers. He was like,
Yeah.
he was
But
playing
three
right in that
defensive
series
player,
versus Jokic.
yeah, 3 defensive player of the year awards. But
I
yeah,
take
I think
I
Jokic
would
is
take Jokic. I would take Jokic over him, and I think he would a title this year. I think he would cement himself as a top 10 big man of all time.
Yeah, I think they put him at 8.
I think with a
Looking
title,
at
yeah, definitely 8.
that
Definitely
will
8
put
to
him
10.
at 8. Yeah, that will put him at 8. And then if he get 2, would that put if he had 2 rings, would that put him above David Robinson or Moses Malone?
I think so. Yes.
Both of
And
them.
I think he gets. I think if he continues to dominate the way he does, with factoring everything in, I think we could talk. We could start talking about top 5, but it's like who comes out because
yeah,
if
that's
he.
tough.
If he, because my thing with Jokic, I feel like you notice how all the top five big men of all time, they carved out their own like type of identity. Shaq the most dominant, Kareem the skyhook,
Real athletic,
Hakeem with
build
the
defense,
build
the
defense,
dream
Hakeem
shake.
with this dream shake, all that. Will his dominance as far as like all these fucking scoring records. But if you look at Jokic, Jokic is he's doing shit that we've never seen modern day or current day centers do. So he's gonna have his own
They said Jokic is like he playing flip flops.
Nah, dead ass though.
Bro, real quick, because I don't want to miss on Mike Malone. Give me a 1 minute, 60-second rundown on Mike Malone and what you think of him.
Oh, phenomenal, man. I remember him first getting the job in Denver and slowly building this team up, man. I love his I don't know if you were seeing like in the Western Conference Finals, but it was a lot of timeouts he would call, and you would see how Denver would be up 8-9. He would be so fucking frustrated of little, details, missing a box out, or you're giving up 2 points. Like the emotion that that he has in these games, and I even became even more of a fan of Mike Malone, the way he was backing his guys up in this series and trying to get the media to shine. Like, yeah, bro, you got your coach knowing you like, yo, I don't give a fuck if we won by half a point.
Everything. Yeah.
Talk about ice. You know what I'm saying? He wants this shit to be about Denver, and now the way he has this team rolling and on the same page and embracing this role, like we're 1 seed and y'all guys still not taking us seriously. Just big credit to Mike Malone, man, giving his guys this opportunity, just to shock the world. And it's crazy to say because they were the best team in the West coming into the playoffs.
Right.
What's your take on him, bro?
I like him, man. I like him, and I can honestly say I didn't pay too much attention to Mike Malone. I always knew he was a solid coach, right? But he wasn't under a microscope, and maybe because it was Denver and the Nuggets, right? And they never been to a finals, and never won a final. But I got to tune in on him this playoff series, and even since the bubble. And I agree. I think it's a lot of passion, it's a lot of emotion, it's a lot of leading in the front for you guys. And being that voice, like you said, like I think when we were talking about the Lakers and Denver series, and when he came out and said that after Game 1, I was like, that kind of scares me, right? Because when you can play mental games like that with your team, with yourself, and you can kind of put yourself in that seat where it's like nobody believes in us, especially after getting Game 1. That's a scary predicament. So I kind of like the mind games. If and not that it wasn't genuine, but I like the way he handled that and approached that and had his team on the same page. So, to me, man, I think he's a good X and O's coach. He makes sure he does what he needs to do, in timeouts and in crucial moments. Make sure the right fives is out there, and things like that. So, nothing but respect for Mike Malone, man.
I got a quick question before we wrap up.
Go ahead.
When Denver swept the Lakers, I started really looking back at this series, and was we blinded by the run that the Lakers went on? Because if you look throughout that series, the Lakers were making the same mistakes. They were having the same disappearance and doing some of the same shit. The reason why I was so heavy on I don't think they can get the 6-7 seed. Like, was it really surprised that they got swept?
So I'm gonna say yes, bro, because again, that team came together after all the trades and things like that. Right? Like this was a different Lakers team, bro. When we spoke about this in the beginning of No Stats, bro. We talked about how those additions made the Lakers look really good, bro. They were high ranked in defense. They looked so much better. I think they had the best record in the West, or one of the best records in the West.
Just the trade,
right?
facts.
And then and it was just in my eyes, and I think a lot of people's eyes, it was a snowball effect, right? The way they were playing. Then they got Brian back, and we seen Brian average 35 in the month of December. Bro, he was averaging 35 at 38 years old. This is a few months ago. And then you said if AD can stay healthy, then it was like, oh shit, AD's staying healthy. Then AD, I know he was up, great game, bad game, great game, bad game, but it's like, then they knocked off Ja and them boys who said they didn't worry about the West. Then they knocked off the defending champ. So I don't think it was overhyped at all. I think it was just due, but I just think Denver was like, not today. And it's not like Denver didn't blow out the Lakers in any of those games. Every game was there in the fourth for the Lakers. Denver might have took a crazy lead, but the Lakers responded. So I think it was I know the series finished 4-0, and Denver did what they were supposed to do. And I don't want to make this about the Lakers. But I do think the Lakers were a worthy opponent. I know the sweep don't say that, but it wasn't like it was blowout games. It wasn't like the Sixers in Brooklyn. You know what I mean?
Kind of like my Cavaliers and Warriors take.
Here we go. Yeah, but Denver didn't have the second, third, fourth, fifth best player on the team.